The Philippine government has employed a variety of military, political, and economic measures to contend the insurgency for the long period. CTG's presence have caused killings, bombings, and hostage-taking across the archipelago, collecting revolutionary taxes from the businesses in the areas it controls. More than the threat it possessed to our democracy and institutions, insurgency and armed conflict threatens the way of life, safety, and security of Filipinos. The CNN, as the conflict actor, is struggling to gain recognition from international community. Advances so-called People Democratic Government, espousing a communist system of governance purposely to overthrow the legitimate government primarily through revolutionary armed struggle, supported by numerous legal struggles. Sadly, in the Gidas, the people have no choice because where the government is absent, CTG assume governance unchallenged, thereby providing evidence to Joma's claim being propagated in the international community through the ILPS that they have controlled territories whose people allow them to govern. Upon the assumption of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, he promised to end the communist armed conflict and directed the security forces to give Filipino people comfortable lives that is corruption-free, drug-free, crime-free, and terror-free country before his term ends.
I will not stop until I reach the finish line. Then and only then shall I call it a day. Our goal for the next 3 years is clear. A comfortable life for everybody, all Filipinos.
Police Regional Office 11 conceptualized Revitalized-Pulis Sa Barangay program as PRO 11's contribution to the whole of the government approach to end communist armed conflict, consistent with the PNP's vision to ensure safer place to live, work, and do business. R-PSB is a quad-driven strategy. It takes off from the foundation built by the gains in the AFP's community support program and focused military operation to clear communist-affected barangays. That is, the armed component of the CTGs has been significantly reduced and no longer capable of conducting major armed atrocities. R-PSB as the missing link have prevented the vicious cycle of CTG problem. R-PSB cadres are deployed in the CSP-cleared barangays to perform the non-combat dimensions through community policing interventions to establish barangay good governance, facilitate the delivery of basic services, assist local economic reconstruction and sustainable development, and institute local security reform. And at the end, to make the unsafe and vulnerable barangay to become safe and conflict-resilient barangay. For more than 2 years of implementation, R-PSB's result of operation have gone very far. That development program has already implemented subsequently as R-PSB have improved the GIDA security environment, the attainment of related objectives for each of the lines of effort, namely counter-organizations operations, law enforcement operations, community engagements, and interagency support operations are essential in the attainment of a safe and conflict-resilient barangays. For the activities on counter-organization operations, which comprises activities such as disabling of CTG propaganda apparatus, arrest or surrender of CTG political officers, and empowerment of pro-government people's organization. Some of the significant accomplishments under this line of efforts include the closure of Community Technical College of Southeastern Mindanao or the CTCSM, filing of cases against UCCP Haran personalities, closure of 55 salugpungan schools, dismantling of Ugmo Influence, Union ng Manggagawa sa Coco Davao Incorporation, a Centro or KMU-affiliated union through cancellation of their DOLE Certificate of Registration, co-optation of 6 CTG front-allied organizations, conducted by joint urban R-PSB and AFP-CSB teams. The surrender of 245 CTGs and 61 militia ng bayan along with 57 high and low-powered firearms. The most significant of which is the surrender of 38 rebels led by Aida S. Shesa from the Pulang Bagani Command under the leadership of Leoncio Pitao alias Commander Parago. Likewise, R-PSB intensive information operation through regular radio programs, use of social media platforms, and regular press conference paved the way for the discussion and information dissemination of various activities and services of the R-PSB program that have created a competitive advantage over the CPP-NPA-NDF's main theme of black propaganda, which is state oppression, and have disproved their narratives. People is an important element to peace and progress. Within the 282 barangays deployed with R-PSB personnel, 680 people's organization were organized who are pro-government. They have undergone capacity building seminars and workshops and have already received various assistance from different service delivery agencies and local government units. In our efforts to organize a pro-government POs to counter CTG organized mass organization, R-PSB encountered difficulty in providing them with juridical personality because they do not have pertinent documents to prove their identity like the birth certificate. To resolve this problem, PRO 11 organized and trained a team civil registrants composed of police personnel to attend to the late registration of the community members living in the Gida barangays. However, along the process, R-PSB cadres encountered several issues that hampers the objectives, such as absence of collateral documents to support proof of identity. That is why R-PSB resorted to baptism, wedding, and confirmation to support the application for late registration through the Regional Pastoral Office. As of this reporting, 15,104 birth certificates have been processed by the R-PSB. For the accomplishments and strong presence of government law enforcement and security forces, controlled of weapons and dual-use chemicals or materials, R-PSB cadres were able to recover 8 improvised explosive devices, 9 grenades, and 3 Claymore landmines. These recovered destructive devices were supposed to be used by the NPAs to ambush police and military personnel. But because the R-PSB have already won the trust and confidence of the community, they disclosed its location, hence its recovery. R-PSB also initiated activities related to the prevention and disruption of CTG recruitment through pulong-pulong, dialogue, and information dissemination about the programs and services that the government has been doing. The R-PSB strengthens the barangay-based institutions, barangay peacekeeping institutions, caused the activation Barangay Task Force LCAP, and the organization of People's Organization. For 282 deployed barangays and sitios, we were able to activate mandatory councils with 100% completion. Role of the barangay officials are crucial in ending local communist armed conflict. Thus, the need to strengthen the basic institutions in the grassroots level is very vital to link them with different national government agencies. R-PSB program initiated quick impact projects to the community while waiting for the implementation of the barangay development program. This pro-people services and projects are construction of R-PSB IP integrated schools, water tubs and reservoir, footbridges, tire paths, processing of late birth and marriage registration, facilitation of deradicalization seminar for former rebels, financial assistance to the organized POs, mass wedding and baptism, medical assistance, free surgical operations such as chyloplasty or the cleft lip operations for the indigent IP families and children of former rebels. Establishment of an IP training center at Sitio Panimbay, Barangay Paquibato proper, Davao City, which is soon to rise in the mid-March of this year. Facilitation of driver's license for the IPs, applying the principle of bringing the government closer to the people, and so many other to mention, and effective and significant services that directly felt by the community level. This implemented projects and activities costing more or less 30 million pesos were sourced phased out from PRO11's LCAP fund and support from LGUs, NGAs, and private stakeholders. Notably, the provincial government of Davao de Oro have allocated 1 million pesos in 2021 that have supported activities of the R-PSB. For this year, they have increased their allocation to 3 million pesos through its Provincial Peace and Order Council resolution, with the purpose of providing sufficient funding for the operational expenses of the R-PSB cadres. Indeed, the support given by the local government units proved that R-PSB's pro-people services undeniably gained partnership with different government agencies to combat insurgency. Roads are the ways to peace and economy. People could now transport their crops to market and vice versa. Economic activity starts to come in and basic services start to reach the people. Apt for the saying, where the road begins, insurgency ends. Through the R-PSB program, we were able to succeed in lobbying a 10.6-kilometer farm-to-market road worth 360 million. This was already approved by the DPWH and was inaugurated last May 8, 2021. For the access roads improved, a total of 175 activities had been conducted by R-PSB for the period relative to road repairs, construction, clearing, widening, filling, and graveling, as well as opening of manned trails in the Gidas barangays. In total, the program had initiated 370 million worth of projects relative to these accomplishments. PRO11 have also achieved other milestone recognitions and accomplishments. PRO11's Revitalized-Pulis Sa Barangay program received a special Sterling Award during the 29th Police Community Affairs Development Group Anniversary on July 29, 2021. PRO11 was also adjudged as Best Regional Community Affairs Development Division for calendar year 2021. And last but not the least, Special Unit Award was also given in consonance with the 120th Police Service Anniversary through its R-PSB program. Although calendar year 2020 initially posed major setbacks in PNP initiatives, PRO11's resilience in adapting to the new normal has allowed itself to keep up and regain the momentum in tackling CTG threats. Among other interventions, the sustained deployment of the R-PSB has clearly played a major role in the emerging success of PRO11's counterinsurgency efforts. By promoting a culture of collaboration through bayanihan spirit and in fostering hope to the deprived communities of Davao region, the efforts of our R-PSB in the geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas had paved the way for an oasis of opportunities to livelihood, education, health, and medical services. Finally, the hearts and minds approach of R-PSB not only aims to win over the population by providing them public services, but the presence of the R-PSB in the Gidas prevented the creation of more evidence that the CTGs have controlled territories. And in the end, R-PSB will serve as the source of justice to the weak and consolation to the underprivileged.